And now they're
I have a
talking about
question.
removing him because of my allegations.
Go ahead, Aaron.
So, once your parental rights are terminated, that's, the end. How do we change that?
Okay, let's talk to Cheryl from Pennsylvania. Cheryl, did you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
My story is very involved. It started 10 years ago. They left me alone for a while. They said I had poked him in the eye as a baby. That last story was pretty heart-wrenching because I went through that. I got him back at 11 months. They left me alone for several years. And then they threw everything they could back in my face, including the same cop that arrested me. They never heard my side of the story. My mother and I got into it, and she wanted to raise him as her own back then. And this time I had a judge who was, he was fired for mental issues, claims he had injuries from college, but he was dysregulated 10 years ago when I saw him as magistrate. It's gone to the Supreme Court. I've gone through every court I could in Pennsylvania. They placed him with my abusers. And now all of a sudden I heard through the grapevine that they are looking at not letting him go there because of my allegations. And I sent my police reports from my childhood. I investigated a lot of stuff. I'm wondering if they have to reinvestigate everything if I have a shot at getting my child back.
Well, have your parental rights been terminated?
Yes.
Yeah, the answer would be no. At least if you were here in California. I'm not sure what the law is in Pennsylvania, but in California, if your rights have been terminated, you're no longer, unfortunately, considered the mother of the child.
Right.
So, if the case were here in California, the answer would be no. Have you talked to an attorney back there in Pennsylvania?
I can't find anybody that'll give me any kind of nothing. Hence the reason I called you, because I can't find out anything because my rights have been terminated. They have me down as schizophrenic, bipolar, beating my child, which was supposed to be expunged by order of my lawyer back in 2010. They were supposed to expunge the record, and everybody who came in believed that I had beaten because it was printed in the paper and it just crazy stuff. So everybody who came in, looked at me like I was a pervert to begin with. It was retaliation. Nobody thought I should have had my child back 10 years ago, but they have no idea what I suffered as a child with hair pulling and beatings. And, I definitely did a better job than my parents did. But CPS here, I'm told, is one of the worst in the country.
When's the last time you were able to see the child?
I paid for a visit in New York. I could pay $100. I've racked up my credit card because I can't get a job in this area. I've been blacklisted. I saw him in the middle of July. It was a year before that when I had last seen him. But when I found out I could pay money to extortionists in New York, I went up there.
How old is the child now?
He is 12. He's been in for 4 years. And he was in 5 different homes, and I believe he was also sexually abused. And they said he was a happy, healthy, well-adjusted child when they got him.
Well, has he been adopted by someone?
They're looking at adopting him to my abusive family, who doesn't talk to me, and I've been black sheep,
Is he living with your family right now?
Yes. And now they're talking about removing him because of my allegations.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Aaron.
So, once your parental rights are terminated, that's, the end. How do we change that?
I have a complaint.
A mother get her rights reinstated, say she went to rehab, she did everything she was supposed to do, she wants her child back.
Well, they didn't care. They were looking at adoption from the beginning. They said that in the very beginning, their goal was not reunification, and they basically didn't talk to me the whole time. The voicemail for the social worker was never set up. I had 5 homes and a school, 2 schools that I looked into. They wouldn't hear anything. They even omitted their own. They had a bonding assessment done in the beginning. They omitted the bonding assessment from their own forensic, I don't know. She had like 7 initials next to her name. I was like, oh shit, they're going to make me now a child pervert. But she said that we had a good bond and we should paid somebody else a year and a half later to do another one.
Ma'am, we're on a show. It's public. Please don't cuss on the air, okay?
I'm sorry.
Let's not use any foul language on the air.
I have that problem too, so I have to remind myself every time I open my mouth.
It's just maddening. It really is.
Georgette, were you going to say something? I saw you kind of anxious.
Yeah. Well, if the mother knows that the family is abusive, like her mother's abusive, for example, right? She was abusive to her when she was a child. My thing is, why would they put the child back, the grandchild, with that mother that was abusing that mother when she was a child?
Because they didn't believe me. If they have you down as mental, believe you. If they have you down as mental, they don't have to believe anything that comes out of your mouth, and they just totally ignore anything you said.
Right, I understand that part, but everybody's mental to them. Everybody is mental to them. That's all I hear. The mother is mentally ill. The mother is bipolar. The mother is this. When in fact, they actually give children to narcissistic people to care for them.
Absolutely.
I don't get the system very well. It's very twisted and very corrupt to the point where if you're sane, you will literally be insane by the time you're done.
Yep.
Because nobody believes you, and they always label women as emotional, whether they cry for their children, whether they don't, or try to be strong for the kids. They say it's not enough, or it's too much, or they're mentally psychotic, or this and this and that. But yet, they give the children, they actually place children with sociopathic, narcissistic, the other parent, that is what I'm saying, or the grandmother, or the grandfather, or the aunt, or the uncle. So I get it. I get why they do what they do now, because what they want to do is they want to go back, remove the child from them, and then open another case. It's all entwined together. They're making money. They know they're abusive. They know they're going to come back and take the child from them, and then they get funding again and again and again. And that's exactly what they're doing. There you go.
It's about the money.
It's all about the money.
Cheryl, what I would do if I were you is I'd try to contact an attorney there in Pennsylvania and see if they can do anything about perhaps reinstating your rights or, getting you visitation, something like that.
Wow.
The child's out of state at this point.
Oh, where?
New York.
Is the case still open, though, since they haven't adopted him?
Yes, and the judge was under review or investigation while he was allowed to preside over my case. So I thought I had a good shot with the Superior Court, but they claimed I only signed my release for my therapy and all of that before court, which wasn't true. I signed it every year, and it was just the 3rd time I signed it. Mm-hmm. So, there was a lot of things that were fudged, and I'm hoping they will relook at it. It could happen, couldn't it?
It could. You never know. I mean, there was a state I think it was
One minute.
I think it was Minnesota who was thinking about passing a law where even after you lost your parental rights, you could try to come back in. That law hasn't passed in Minnesota, but a lot of people are thinking, this termination thing and cutting kids off from their parents. There might be some problems with that, as we go down and as the years go by. Hey,
The judge,
well, hold on a
the
second.
judge
I
goes.
I want to thank you for calling in and keep listening. Call us back in a few weeks and give us an update, okay? We have to take a break for messages right now. This is The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services. We'll be back with more calls and more questions right after these messages.